of the United States here in Oregon. Today I'm going to do a pumpkin roll recipe with a brown sugar cream cheese buttercream frosting. It's a long name, but we're going to basically do brown sugar buttercream in the center. Add a little bit of cream cheese. So welcome in, or we'll wait a few minutes to get a few people in here. I assume my mic's working this time, so mic check has been checked. Excellent. That was a bummer last time, so we'll give it a few minutes. Thank you, everybody. I'm actually on time. Well, very close. It's 11:03. So again, I'm going to do a pumpkin cake roll. This is actually Tracy's recipe, a good friend of mine, and I'm making it for the second time. Welcome in, Ariel. How are you? And Susan, how are you? Good morning. Thank you. I can kind of see as long as I squint. It's all good. So today we're doing Tracy's pumpkin cake roll recipe. I made it one time previously last year. It's really good. And if I can do it, you can do it. Because I was afraid of Swiss rolls and that whole process as well. I know it has a lot to do with the cake. So it doesn't crack and the whole thing. So you can't just take any cake and roll it. It doesn't always work. So we're going to dive into a few other Swiss roll type recipes hopefully this year because I'm not afraid. At least not today. This one I did do because, again, Tracy I can trust, and it's her recipe for the cake portion of it. Her center or the filling was a standard cream cheese filling. As you know, my husband Dustin, Big Daddy Cupcakes, there he is in the chat. He doesn't care for cream cheese. So I'm going to add maybe 2 to 3 ounces of cream cheese and then some brown sugar. And we're going to make it a brown sugar, little teeny bit of cream cheese frosting. So like more buttercream. And maybe Dustin won't know. Shh, don't tell him. How's everybody doing today? Hi, Susan and Ariel. I see you guys. And Big Daddy is in the chat if you guys have questions. He's not just a weirdo. He's my weirdo. And he's here to answer questions as I get cooking because I don't want to get distracted from cooking and have an icky pumpkin roll. So cheers to everybody. This is just coffee and it's actually cold because I made it like 2 hours ago, but I'm okay with that. All right, so first you get yourself a jelly pan, and it's not just a regular pan. I think this is, I don't know if she wrote it down. Oh yeah, good job, Trace. It's a 10-inch by 15-inch by 1-inch. And at the time, I didn't own one of these. And I was like, oh, hey, Terry, how are you? I did not have one of these. And I wrote her, I'm like, I have my normal cookie sheet. Would that work? And she was like, I don't know. So I literally went down and bought one. It's not that much. It's all about the size. And if you look up jelly roll cake pan, you'll find it. But it's a 10 by 15, 10, 15, 1. And that makes a big difference, obviously. At least, well, not obviously, but at least in this particular recipe. So I tried to get away with it that first time. It didn't work out for me. So I went and purchased. Now I have a jelly roll pan. All right, we're going to line the jelly roll pan with parchment. But I'm going to spray it first with Sprite. That helps keep the parchment down. If you didn't know, see how that just sticks. Oh wait, I needed to go this way. How it just sticks to it. Like glue. All right, line your pan all the way up your edges. And then I'm going to trim that excess off because it'll bother me if I don't. So let's just do that. Just want a little, to make sure it goes all the way around up the lip of the pan. Okay, and then for extra shit and giggles, we're going to go ahead and spray that as well because I don't want stuff to stick. Pumpkin tends to be sticky anywho. Okay, so that's our pan. Like so, okay. My oven's preheated to 350 already. And then we're going to make the filling. And now I feel like I have to clean that up because it'll bother me. The spray. All right, so I hope everybody's having a good Sunday or a good week. Hello to everybody who's coming in. I am Shannon. My husband is Big Daddy Cupcakes. He's in the chat. If he's answering questions for you, that's because that's what he's here for. I'm going to get the batter to this cake dealt with. All right, so what we're going to do in a mixing bowl is I'm going to add 3 eggs to bowl. No shell. Oh, 1 shell. Doesn't always crack well on this silicone mat. It cracks much better on my marble or whatever this is, granite. That's my theory. Okay, these are room temperature, by the way. I'm not a professional baker, but one thing I do know is you want to work with room temperature ingredients for a better outcome. So when I remember, like such today, I did get those taken out earlier. And then I'm going to add, I think it's a cup of sugar. Sorry, yes, it is. Sure the hay is. And I already have all my ingredients out, and I'm going to keep opening that cabinet because I'm not used to having all my ingredients out. That was one time. Maybe we'll count how many times I do it. Ooh. 1 cup. Other than I can put it away. All right, 3 eggs, room temperature, and 1 cup of granulated sugar. And then in another bowl, which, I failed to get out. Failed! And it doesn't have to be a huge bowl. A medium, small bowl. Okay, just let that do its job. We don't want to overmix, we just want to mix it a couple minutes and get it, or maybe a minute and get it thickened up and mixed in with the sugar. Then I'm going to put in 3/4 cup flour into this bowl. This is a 1/4 cup, so I'm going to do 3 of them. Three-quarter cup. And this is a teaspoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to go ahead and add in the pumpkin puree and the vanilla. Is it that right? Vanilla? There's no vanilla. I'm going to add the pumpkin puree now. This is 2/3 cup of pumpkin puree. I'm going to add it to the egg and the sugar. I'm not left-handed, so I got to turn that around. I can't go backwards. Okay, 2/3 cup pumpkin puree. And I'm just doing it on low. There's no need to go crazy with that. Okay, back to this, which was 3/4 cup all-purpose flour, a teaspoon baking powder, and a teaspoon baking soda. And then we're going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Ooh, it fits. Excellent. Now, Tracy's recipe also says 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground cloves, and I'm out of cloves, so it's okay. We're just not going to add it. But normally I would. It wasn't worth the store run for cloves. I have whole cloves, and I was going to grind them, and then I was like, that's a lot of work, so I decided not to do that. We're just leaving them out. And if I didn't say anything, you wouldn't know, but anyway. So 1/2 teaspoon, I'm sorry, that was not, let me go back to this. This was 3/4 cup all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. I previously said a teaspoon. And then 1/2 teaspoon of the cinnamon and 1/2 teaspoon of the pumpkin pie spice. And then if you have ground cloves, add 1/8 teaspoon to that. Okay. This was 3 eggs, room temperature, and 1 cup granulated sugar. Then I added in the pumpkin puree, which was 2/3 cup. Now I'm going to add this mixture to the wet mixture and make a mess. Try not to anyway. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I am Shannon, and I am from Oregon Family Cooking. This is my kitchen. Dustin is in the chat. That's Big Daddy Cupcake, so he should be answering questions should you have any. Right now I'm making pumpkin roll. This is a pumpkin cake roll. This recipe is from Tracy. If you know her, you know her. If you don't, it's just a good friend of mine. She gives me all kinds of good recipes. This is hers. So anywho, this so far is the cake mixture. So this was 3/4 cup all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, baking powder, cinnamon. Thank you, Terry. And the pumpkin pie spice, and then 1/8 teaspoon of cloves, all ground. 3 large eggs, 1 cup granulated sugar, 2/3 cup of pumpkin puree. That's the cake. Just like that. Now, Tracy does a traditional cream cheese filling. I'm going to do more of a buttercream and add just a little cream cheese to that. Due to picky eaters around here, but you can fill it with all kinds of things. I'm actually going to add some brown sugar to my filling. Let's see what we get. Okay, so now we take our pan that we previously prepped. If you were not here, I took a 10 by 15 by 1 inch jelly roll pan. Thank you, Nancy. Welcome in, sweetheart. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for visiting. Today I'm doing a pumpkin cake roll. So this is a 10 by 15 by 1 inch jelly roll pan. Size is important when you're making this. This is our delicious cake batter. And now we're gonna, I don't know what you can see. Welcome in, Snow Angel. How are you? Hope everybody's having a great Sunday. Thanks for visiting. This isn't going to be a really super long live because I was like, I don't feel like cooking a bunch of food. But I am committed to doing a jelly roll. A jelly roll? A pumpkin roll. We should listen to some jelly roll. My mind was jelly roll. Okay. Then just spread it out. I'm not even going to get out my little cake spreader. Just do it like this. This is going to cook for 14 to 15 minutes. While it cooks, I'm going to make the filling. Ta-da. Okay. Give her a little spread out. Spread it out. Taste it. That's yummy. Do I notice the cloves are missing? No, but it's all right. Okay, then you want to kind of inappropriate, but we need to shake it out. Shake it this way, forwards. Get it even. Give her a tap and get it in the oven. So I'm going to hit it for 14 and then take a peek and see if it needs that extra minute. It may or may not. 14 minutes. All right, so that is the cake part of it. Actually, I'm going to get the towel ready so when it comes out, because as soon as it comes out, you got to roll it when it's hot. Roll it when it's hot. I'm going to set this over here. See my kitchen? Isn't it nice? We were live last night for 3 hours and 31 minutes. It was up till, I don't know, 11 doing dishes so that I'd be ready for today. And here we are. And then I woke up and somebody broke something in this kitchen overnight. Kids. You know how kids clean stuff up? That's how I knew, because it wasn't mom cleaned up. like it was. Okay, so now let's get the roll part done, because literally you don't want to roll it when it's not hot. So I'm gonna roll it right on this table, because this is a silicone mat that can handle heat up to 480 degrees, or 500 degrees. Sorry, I was thinking about another thing I use. We're gonna let that dry. So I have a tea towel here, or actually a towel that's it's actually new because I have these up in my craft room for a reason, but I like to use a new towel when I'm doing this, especially on a live. But anyway, you probably have tea towels lying about. Get yourself one. It's a thin towel basically. And then we're going to take some powdered sugar, about a 1/4 cup, and we're going to coat this towel with the powdered sugar. And then when that hot cake comes out, we're going to get it inverted on here and then roll very quickly. So you really want to be ready for that. I'm just using this little baby here, which works fine. And just coat your fabric. Now I know I've seen some videos where people do it with parchment. You can roll it however, but this works for me when I use these towels. This is a non-cotton towel. It's like it's cotton, but it doesn't have the fuzzies, you know? That's the thing about a tea towel. You don't want fuzzies in your food. So 1/4 cup, just evenly spread it all over the towel. And we're going to be dusting the top with this sugar, so I'm going to go ahead and leave these pieces out in here. All right. I'll get the frosting started, and then we're going to wait. Oh, we got about 10 to 11 minutes, so we got time to get the frosting situated. Let's just get that out. Okay, so I've got this bowl. I'm probably going to turn the camera for you here, so I can use, excuse me while I reach. There we go. And so you can see. I think I put myself right in there, didn't I? Nice. All right. Frosting. So it is powdered sugar and butter. I'm going to do half a stick of softened butter. And this happens to be salted. I prefer, you know, whatever. I prefer what's on sale. So this week it's usually salted. It's a little less expensive for some reason. Odd. And I did not get the whisk attachment, evidently. Thought she was ready. 99%. Right. I was ready as in it was put away and clean. All right, butter. Then I'm adding in 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. Roughly. Let's welcome in. I'm working on the filling for the pumpkin cake roll. So far, butter and cream cheese. Half a stick of softened butter, 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. We have got the cake part of the pumpkin cake roll already in the oven. It has 8 to 9 minutes before we're going to get it out of the oven and invert it on this I dusted this tea towel with powdered sugar. We're going to get it inverted and rolled up. Hold on, my whole world's shaking. Shake my world. Okay, good. I wanted to get that out of there. It's all stuck in the middle. Okay, then I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I know. I'm going to try this for the first time, but let's see what we think. Should have a 1/4. She does. And I don't want it packed, just a 1/4 cup. This is my plan. And I want to whip that up and get the sugar incorporated pretty good. This is a frosting, it's not, you know, mess. Scrape it down, scrape it down. The infamous scrape it down. To turn it around because that's how my arms work. And I want to mix that brown sugar in a couple of minutes so that it has a chance to, you know, dissolve a little, whatever the word is. Emulsify. Just kidding. Okay, so in the meantime, we're also going to add in a little cinnamon and no salt because my butter was salted. Or I'll taste it. I don't think it needs salt. I don't usually care about the salt. And a little vanilla. But like I said, I want to get that whipped into a good frenzy so that it's not, the sugar's not granulated, it's smooth. We're also adding powdered sugar, but adding in that brown sugar at this stage is supposed to be yummy. Let's try it out. So 4 ounces softened cream cheese, half a stick of softened butter, and I have my memory can remember. Oh, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. All right, so then we're gonna do powdered sugar in the amount of 1.5 to 2 cups, and we're gonna sift it in there. I'm gonna do it. You're gonna watch. I have to use the old school sifter. Well, maybe not. I'll find it. Where did I see it, guys? In the dishwasher. It's not the old school one, but it'll work. Okay, now 1.5 cups of this powdered sugar. Hopefully we have enough in this container. I have more, but oh yeah, we got enough. We got plenty. I gotta move it. I gotta move it. So that's 1/2 cup. One cup. A little vanilla and a little cinnamon at the end. And our cake has about 4 to 5 minutes. I have another 1/2 cup to go, but I'm going to get this incorporated in first. Mainly so I don't get a big poof in the face, because that's rude. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Vic Adele, I see you. How are you? Sorry if I have not said hi. Dustin is my husband. He's in the chat. That's Big Daddy Cupcakes. I have a hard time seeing the chat from here, and I'm also concentrating. But I do welcome everybody here. Thank you so much for stopping in. We're going to add another 1/2 cup of sifted powdered sugar into here. This is a brown sugar buttercream froth. Oh shit, I forgot to sift it. Oopsies. That was a 1/4 cup. Oh well, it'll be fine. I watched one of my replays back of my live, and I totally did that. I did like the first cup sifted, and the next 3 cups I didn't even notice that day. At least I noticed. It's all good. Okay, so that is 3 cups of sifted powdered sugar. And I might need a little milk depending on the consistency. It's basically a buttercream frosting. A little brown sugar. A little cinnamon. Cinnamon. And you could even add pumpkin spice into here as well, but I don't think it's necessary because I actually love pumpkin spice. And a little bit of vanilla, or you could put almond. Let's do vanilla. You could also do almond extract. That'd be good. And that was pretty much everything we were putting in there, unless I need a little bit of liquid like heavy cream. We'll see. We'll see. We got about 1 to 2 minutes left before the pumpkin cake roll comes out of the oven. This right here is a brown sugar buttercream frosting. Now I did add 4 ounces of cream cheese, so welcome in everybody. Thank you for being here. Now, like any other frosting, in my opinion, you really can't overmix it. The longer the better, but I do want to taste it. Let's taste it, shall we? Hopefully I can elegantly flip this cake over. That's good. Very sweet. Let's add a little salt. I am going to give it a little salt. I mean, we want sweet, but here's where a little salt. It's not going to hurt it. Especially with that brown sugar. So mix that in. Oh, my whole table's moving. Okay, cool. Calm down. Alright, I'm satisfied. I mean, I could just let it sit here and mix around longer. It's not going to hurt it. But we are going to get the cake out here in just a minute. And flip it on over. So welcome in everybody. My name is Shannon. I live in Oregon. This is my kitchen. Our channel is called Oregon Family Cooking. We've been going live for almost 2 years, about 6 months here on YouTube. Every Sunday is my current schedule. I really like doing brunch with Shannon at 11 a.m. on Sundays because I still have the whole rest of my day to go. Now, I did go live last night, so it's like a late night and then an early morning, but I can do it. I'm here. I got coffee. The cake has talked to us, so let me see what it looks like. Hey, Big Daddy Cupcakes. I need you to get me a light bulb for my oven. Not today, not like right now, but it's on the list and it's been publicly requested. Okay, so here is another cool thing about these silicone gloves I happen to got. Pumpkin rolls. I've seen a lot of people. I'm not going to reach over because I'll just put myself right in there. So let's just put the camera back. I want you to see my pumpkin roll. It's very white. I know it may be hard to see the chat. I'm sorry, but we have to use the space for working on occasion. All right, so now, oops, come on. I'll turn that off because it doesn't need to be hot in my kitchen. Okay, so here's our pumpkin roll cake at this point. So now I have to somehow elegantly flip it. I don't know. I don't know. Here's where it could get exciting. I'm going to move the camera to see the end of the table. There you go. Because I'm going to start the roll here and work that way. So I don't really want to poof sugar all over my face. So I don't remember how I did this last time without doing that, without just touching the cake. So just touch the cake and hope you get it out. Okay, it worked. That worked without a mess. A little mess, a little sugary mess, but it worked. All right, then get the paper off. Point is, it's hot. And I'll try to straighten it on that cloth a little better than that as well, but I'm working with what I got now. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out how do you flip it, you guys? Anybody know, without poofing it in your face, or don't even mess with it. I don't want to move it too much because we'll have a problem. Okay. Anywho, that's the idea. Now, ideally, I'd like it to be closer to this end, but it's not going to hurt it if I go like that. And then start it as tight as you can and roll. Roll with it. He loves cream cheese.
Yeah, I'm way behind him.
Ooh, it's so hot. It's so hot. Okay, so now hold that for me.
Yeah, that was
Just
still
kidding.
back on. She's holding the coffee cup.
Lag. Okay, so you roll it, guys. Now this is a nice thing about these silicone mitts. I was like, nice. Because you only have to burn. You still need some dexterity, or I do, because I'm not very coordinated. So I needed one hand to burn. All right, so we had previously. Hey, you got backup, bro. You get your backup out of here. Backup noise. Anyway, previously I'd coated this tea towel with powdered sugar. Okay, so now we don't have. It has to cool. Okay, that's not fun to watch. Let me turn it back to here. Okay. So here's the magic of earlier, and this is what I did. Was I already made one. Because it's important now to let it cool completely, which this one is, before going to the next step. So honestly, that got on my countertop about 9:15 this morning, and it is completely cool. So now, otherwise we'd have to stand here and stare at each other. That'd be weird. So anyway, I'm going to set this one now aside to go ahead and cool. And I'm going to have 2 pumpkin rolls today. I'm going to do a different filling for the second one later off the live. But for now, we're back to like, hey, look, it just came out cooled. Yay. This one, okay, so now here's the trick. Don't get excited yet, Shannon. I was excited to reveal, and hopefully we're good. I've made this once, and it turned out great, so that don't mean it's going to turn out perfect the second time. And then pull it out. I was thinking that, but then I thought that top of that pumpkin cake's really hot, and even by touching it with my silicone glove, it stuck. So I was kind of afraid it would do that as well. You know, there's probably all kinds of tricks to such trade out there, so I'll check it out. But that was my only thought on that, Terry. So I had thought it out. But earlier, I'll tell you, I wish this was on camera. I flopped it just like willy-nilly from a couple inches up, and all the sugar went everywhere. I had a nice dusting about, 9 o'clock this morning, so I had to wipe it all down. That was the second, yeah, anywho, that's how that happened. So I was at least not going to do that again. Okay, so this filling here, you could do a lot of different fillings in this. If you don't like cream cheese, that's okay. If you do cream cheese filling, because that's a traditional thing you would do on a pumpkin roll, but we're not traditional. So I did a brown sugar buttercream frosting. I did add 4 ounces of cream cheese though, so it's a little in there. Okay, now you gently, it's completely cool. Oh shit. Oh shit, you better not stick, you bad boy. Okay, we're gonna get it off. Anyway, first we have to gently, and hopefully we don't get a crack, unroll and get our towel out. A little crack you do there, but it's gonna be fine. And then we're gonna fill it with our goods. Can you guys see? Is everything cool on the view? I usually have my guy taking care of that for me. My guy is just not my camera guy today. I'm on my own camera world on Sundays. It's good for me. And this is a lot, so maybe I am doing that other one for the second as well. It's better to have too much filling than not enough. True story. Okay, then I'm gonna get it into that crack there. Gotta get it in the crack, guys, right here, without breaking it. That's my plan. Babe, you're making me cough. One moment, I have to be able to breathe. All right, anyway, I want to get some in there, so I'm just gonna change. Oh yeah, we got a great crack. Great crack. Can y'all see? Okay, you can see my crack. Great. Okay. Oops. Okay, then we're gonna roll it back up. Gracefully. That's the plan. All right, you ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Without the towel. Just around. And hopefully I didn't put too much goods in there, but is that possible? Got a little crack there, but we're gonna roll him up. Oh shit. Ta-da. There we go. All right, and then I have a tray over here. So, oh shoot, careful. Gently, oh, move it. Sorry, my view's all messed up. And I got some leakage out the bottom because I filled it too much, but that's all right. Clean that up. It'll glue it to the plate perfectly. Okay, like that. But I'm gonna rinse my hands, clean this up. Now I saw on another, I'm gonna cut the ends for you so it looks pretty also. We're not done, but we did get the part. That part is the hard part, right? Not so hard. It worked out.
Thank you, Terry K, for the super chat.
Thank you, Terry, so much for all your support. You're amazing. This one wasn't sitting there, so I just hooked it to the sink so I can rinse that out. All right, let's do a quick wipe down, and then we're gonna top it with powdered sugar. I'm gonna cut the ends so it looks nice, but you kind of see the spiral from there. But if I give it a nice, because the ends are a little uneven, you get that pretty view. All right. And I only had a white tray, so we're dealing with it. I was like, that's not the best color to use, but oh well, because we're doing powdered sugar on top. I do think these things out, but it was my only choice today. Or like one that looks like a pepper and wouldn't go well. Okay, so sprinkle. My fan is blowing it this way, so I gotta work with the pitch of the wind. Anyway, that would be nice on a not white plate, but you get the point, right? I do want to trim those ends. I should, well, whatever, it is what it is. We're going to do that right now, just because it'll be prettier if it's a display piece for the holidays. Set you over there. It's getting eaten. But then you can see the end of the roll there. Let me trim this one. And ideally now I'm going to put it in the fridge and let it cool very well so that that center isn't so soft, but it's just been mixed up and put in here. And I don't have a third one in the fridge, but I did do a little TV magic for you there and had one at least cooled so we could get it rolled or filled and rolled again. But it will set once I put it in the fridge. It's just soft right now, that filling, as you see. And actually, some people roll it again with parchment. And then, I don't know how they do that. I can't talk that way. But anyway, they roll the whole thing somehow. Then cool it. That's how I do it. And if you throw it in the fridge now, you're good. If I had thrown it in the fridge and then cut the ends when it was cool, that would have been a good idea too. But I wanted y'all to see how it looks. And that's what we got today. So this was a pumpkin cake roll. The cake roll part of the recipe was my good friend Tracy, who I don't think is here today because she's with family, as she should be. But the filling today, I altered hers. She did a traditional cream cheese. I put brown sugar, cinnamon, and a little cream cheese in my basically buttercream frosting. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you for joining. I will be back next Sunday with a brunch with Shannon. Maybe we'll cook some food. Maybe we'll bake something. I don't really know. If you have suggestions, you're always welcome to put those on my videos. I can post this recipe for you in the next couple of days. If you're interested, just give me a subscribe and watch for my videos. And if not, if you follow us over on the TT, it's pinned on Tracy's page right now with her cream cheese filling. So thank you, everybody. I was thinking about you today, Tracy. And yes, I made your pumpkin cake roll again for the second time. So I recommend it. I want to do some more of these because they're not as scary as they look. I'm sure I could learn a few things as I go. So thanks, everybody. Ariel and Terry, thank you so much. Everybody else, if you're new here, thank you so much. If you're not new here, thank you so much. And I hope to see you next week. So have a great week, everybody. Now I'm going to do the awkward, how do I figure out how to turn it off? Have a good day.